everyone, welcome to Dragon Tooth Miniatures. I'm Bill, your host, and this is our long time no-show guest, Mr. Ryan.
Hey everyone, nice to be back. Nice to be around again, Bill.
Yeah. You had a little bit of a hiatus, and we missed you. We missed you over here on the channel.
I miss being here. Yeah, a bunch of things came crashing together, but hopefully most of it is resolved now. So there we go.
Yeah. Well, we really hope so. We really hope so. But that is life. Sometimes things happen. Anyway, speaking of life, we are going to be talking about one of your favorite factions in Warhammer 40k, Mr. Ryan, which is the Black Templars. They are getting a second wave of releases this coming weekend. So I thought, hey, what better person to talk about, Black Templars?
Yeah, this was my, I guess the first real kind of Space Marine chapter that I liked. To be honest, recently I've been playing more Death Watch than anything. But as far as Space Marine chapters go, I guess this is the one that I really kind of got into. It was the first one I got into.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, I remember one of my first opponents was actually a Black Templars small skirmish force army way back when in like 5th edition. Way back in 5th edition. Back then,
So I came across them when they were still new. This was
their first codex. Was this their first codex?
So they first appeared, the paint scheme, right? So it first appeared sometime in 3rd edition. I remember I was like around 17, I was 16 or 17 years old, right? And a box set came out. This box set, which I believe was 3rd edition, it also had the Dark Eldar, which we knew at the time. We'd never seen that before.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
This was super old Dark Eldar that was used as the model for Dawn of War, the original Dawn of War. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the first, I think, basic box set to actually come with a vehicle. There was a land speeder in it.
Yeah.
So that was, if I'm not wrong, that was actually the first time we kind of saw the Black Templars. Or maybe it was just a reference to them before that, but certainly that was the very first box where we saw them on the front cover.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wow. That takes me back, yeah. I remember seeing that at my local Games Workshop, and that was like, that was like, like 3 or 4 years when I started, like after you, Mr. Ryan, like, that was still like the hottest thing on the shelf.
Yeah, and there's, I think almost like a tradition of Black Templars having a strong visual impact because, like, even if we go all the way back to 98, right, when they first came out in this set, I don't know if you remember it, but this 3rd edition set, it was the first time we saw the new Tactical Marines.
Ah, yes, the ones in full plastic, and they got like a bit of they got new sculpts.
Yeah,
we were still using like the Rogue Trader ones, where they're a bit like,
Yeah, the ones that came in the second ad box, right? The ones that weren't really posing, they were just kind of standing there with the rifle pointed up.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, so this is why I've always found the Templars kind of coincide with that visual impact, because I remember it was the first time we had those Tactical Marines. They were painted in Templar colors, so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean the contrast between like the black and white, like, and that, like, and that cross is so synonymous now. Like,
yeah,
I think that one of the top 3 most recognizable Space Marine chapters, like, right directly underneath, like, Ultramarines and like Blood Angels, I believe.
Well, I mean, nowadays we have a lot of Space Marines wearing black, but earlier, yeah, I think the black and white was very iconic.
Yep, absolutely. All right, that's enough of reminiscing about the past. I'm sure our dear guests want to reminisce a bit about the future. Alright, so we're going to look down. So this is from the Warhammer community page. And we're going to look down. Christmas is coming, of course. And the first model that they've shown us is High Marshal Helbrecht. What do you think of him, Mr. Ryan?
So, okay, just going straight to the game aspect here. I'll talk about the aesthetics in a bit. I'll tell you, it's really nice that he's got a bigger base, just because it just makes your charging easier. You're more likely to get in sooner.
Yes.
His base is huge. I mean, compared to the standard.
What does that look
base.
like? That looks like a 60mm base to me.
I would say it looks bigger than the aggressor or dominator base to me.
Oh, definitely.
It's got like a whole body there and like two servitors on it. So it's clearly a pretty huge base.
Yeah, I can't put my finger if this is a 50mm or 60mm base, because I can't decide if this looks bigger than an original Dreadnought base.
Might be.
Yeah.
might be big. But it's all good, right? Because when you have an assault character, you want a big base so you can quickly get in there. I mean, it helps that the base is larger.
Yep, absolutely. He's going to be rocking that sword everywhere in the battlefield, and it's going to be turbocharging his way through, hopefully. Another thing I wanted to ask was that this servitor, in the bottom right, he's holding a combi melter. Did Helbrecht always have a melter weapon on him?
Yeah, he did. He always carried a combi melter.
Okay.
So
okay.
even in the original incarnation, yeah. So here, he's got some kind of a sensor instead of holding that gun. In the old model, he was carrying the combi melter.
I think it looks a lot more regal if, he has somebody else carrying the melter weapon for him, and he just fires it.
True. I mean, other people, they have to lug it around, but he's the boss, so you carry it for him.
Yeah, I like the idea that this servitor, this sword bearer over here, he's cleaning the sword as he's slicing people up. So he's just like, oh no, the master's sword must be impeccable at all times.
So I find that a bit risky because if you know Orc lore, what that guy is doing is he's loading that cloth up with spores instead of his Orc spores, because he's touching a freshly killed Orc. And if he lands on some other planet somewhere, I don't know if that will create an Orc infestation.
Maybe that's what the Black Templars want, more Xenos to purge.
True, I mean, they're basically Orcs of the Imperium anyway.
Yes. I mean, they do have the largest Space Marine chapter, in the galaxy, second only to the Ultramarines and their successor, cronies.
Well, they are also, they used to be one of the only chapters where you could load everyone with a bolt pistol and chainsword. And I used to kill myself in games doing it, but I insisted on doing it anyway, because to me that's what made them unique, right? You have 20 guys with bolt pistol and chainsword.
Yep, before it was cool, before everyone could do it. Alright, I think we've got more pictures of him. No, we do not. Well, what do you think about the aesthetics of High Marshal Helbrecht, Mr. Ryan?
So, okay, personally, I don't like the bronze, the metallic thing. Now, he's always been painted in that color, but I've always felt like if there was more black and white to it, I would like the black and white more than I would like the bronze. But that's a matter of personal taste.
How would you paint this guy then? How much bronze would you paint?
So, to me, the fabric parts would be white and red, whereas the bronze parts would be black.
Okay.
So
there'll be no bronze on
traditional
this
Templar. Maybe just around the band, around his head. So I don't quite like that band being white. I think that's gonna be more kind of bronzed. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Would it clash with his skin tone too much? Do you think? Would it blend in too much with his skin tone?
I typically go for a slightly darker skin tone. So I think with the sort of skin tone that I usually use, there would be enough contrast. It wouldn't matter. But yeah, I think if you were to make his skin a little bit too pale, then yeah, that might be an issue.
Yeah, that could be a risk. Like a little warning to our viewers. Like, yeah, be careful if you are going to put like a bronze circlet on Mr. Helbrecht here. If you do make his skin too light, it will hide the circlet, and yeah,
it'll blend in. Yeah,
it'll blend in. It'll blend in quite well. But what do you think of the model in general? Like the aesthetics. Do you think that Games Workshop have done a good job in bringing Helbrecht back into aesthetic line?
So aesthetically, I think it's great. I think the Templar feel is captured there, and I mean it's a very traditional sort of heroic pose, right? So things work for it. I could see a sister battle in this pose as well, and considering they have generally the same flavor, I think that works quite well. The only thing that comes to my mind is this seems like it would be extremely intimidating if you're a new painter.
Yep.
Right. I mean, if you take a look at it, that is not like painting a regular Space Marine captain. This is something you're gonna have to paint in parts.
You would definitely have to paint this in parts. Like, there's so many overlapping pieces. Even the servitors, there's several layers to the servitors. I mean, by layers, I do mean in an artist's perspective. Like, there's foreground, background, and like different like levels to the scene. So like like there's no way you could paint this in like you could build and paint this all in one go. There's no way. There is no way.
It's also so if you're brand new and you're just starting out, for example, and you say I want to go Black Templars, you're gonna have to load up on a lot more paints just for this one guy.
Oh yeah, no, don't. If you are just starting out Black Templars, save this guy till last. Save this guy till last once you painted the rest of your Black Templars, which, quite frankly, like, I'm not a big Space Marines player, I'm more of a Xenos player. So far, the entire new release lineup for Games Workshop this entire year has not fazed me one bit, has not interested me at all. This, on the other hand, the Black Templar stuff that you're going to see today, Mr. Ryan, I'm quite interested in. I'm quite interested in. So
yeah, I think breaks the mold a little bit.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the second model over here. So we've got High Chaplain Grimaldus and his retinue.
Right. So this guy used to be auto-include. In fact, he's been auto-include for years.
For years. Why is that?
He is just he's just been good in so many incarnations, right? Like in 8th, for example, he had if I'm not wrong, it was like a 6 to hit generates an additional hit, and he just had to be standing around to do that. Yeah, and he still did his usual chaplain thing where you could reroll the miss hits, so that's just all around really great.
Yep. That's too good of a bonus to pass up, honestly. Especially since, like, nowadays, like, Assault Intercessors are hitting for, like, 40 attacks on the charge. So, like, if he does a similar thing in but just Primarisified, yeah, he's gonna still be an auto-include, but he'll be tougher, more wounds, and probably he'll have some more extra Primaris Wargear stuff.
So the Dark Angels players used to complain, right? Why is your special chaplain so special, and then Asmodai is he's a chaplain basically.
Yeah, he does nothing. He does nothing. Yeah. But other than that, this guy. Okay, every time I see Grimaldus, right, I'm reminded about the conversation we had in the shop, right, in the Games Workshop, where you were asking me if I could order in one of these little like servitors from Grimaldus' retinue. Yeah, because you lost one.
I
And
lost it.
yeah, and I remember like we were taught like there was no way I could do that, and like we were talking for like a couple hours and like trying to convert a new retinue member like out of like another servitor model.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
wouldn't have worked because they have non-basic things. They have relics and stuff.
yeah. So yeah, this is your chance to actually get like a full group models again and like not lose it again.
Personally, I think they should have a few more of these like fancy servitor scalps and sell them separately because Space Marine players do feel servitors. They use them to hold objectives and stuff, And well, the current ones look a little bit derpy.
Because they're one of the models that have not aged well at all.
Yeah, and personally, I would use these guys in place of them.
Yeah, like even if you're not playing Black Templars, I would say this kit looks like it'll go for about like maybe like $96. You think like around a similar price to Gilliman?
Probably, yeah. I would say, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're not a Black Templars player, but you are a Space Marine player, consider like if you do field servitors, consider getting this pack just for the servitors, for the 3 models that you can use. And of course, Grimaldus is a very cool like painting project.
But you can use him as a chaplain. I'm sure no one will complain about that. The equipment is right anyway.
Yeah, the equipment is right. He doesn't. I mean, the Black Templar insignia is very like. It's very Imperium, so you're not getting a different feel for it. Like it's not so overt that people are gonna go like, "Hey, that's weird."
You could replace that sword on his back with your own chapter banner. That looks like it would be an easy swap.
Yeah, that looks like it's a simple snip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really looks like it's going to be a simple snip. All right. Yeah. Ooh, okay, on to the third character. The crowd favorite, the Emperor's Champion. So we've seen him a few times. He's been teased a lot. But what do you think, Mr. Ryan?
I'm 50-50 about it, right? On the one hand, he's beefier and chunkier than the previous model. I guess it's kind of nice, although I did like the fact that the older model had kind of a more sleek look. This guy is more kind of chunky and muscular. What strikes me as being very strange is just how unornamented he is compared to the other 2 guys we've seen.
Yep.
That armor is very plain. Like he hasn't even got anything on the chest.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Yeah, because what I noticed is that like he appears to be wearing like the Blade Guard veteran armor,
right?
But it's stripped of any insignias and iconography. That is not the barest essential minimum.
Yeah, even like look at the greaves, right? The feet. Just everything is totally unornamented.
Yeah. It's a very interesting design choice.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. My concern is that when viewed from afar, right, he's just gonna blend in with all the other Marines.
Yes,
that's
true.
That's a lot of black on the surface.
Yeah.
And when you have that much black clustered in one area, the top half, that takes a lot of careful, sort of skilled highlighting to really bring out that detail.
Yeah. And if you're playing a Black Templars army, like, you could mistake him for a lieutenant. He is that unornamented that, like, he kind of looks like a lieutenant with, like, a power sword.
Or maybe we could be reading it wrong, and maybe he's being so unornamented is what makes him stand out against everyone else who is decorated.
Maybe. We haven't seen the rest of the models yet, so yeah. So I've got a few gripes with this model. Number one, I don't understand what they try to do with the tab art here. How that tab art like goes behind his leg. I find that's very
Yeah.
strange. I find there's very few scenarios where that would happen.
Yeah, and
Like-
if you were to stretch it out straight, it looks almost like it would drag on the ground because
Yeah.
of how long it seems. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's oversized for him. Part of the cloak as well. I find it a little bit weird that he has this like belt that keeps the cloak close to his close to his waist, but the cloak goes all the way up to underneath his chest piece.
Yeah.
I don't like that new thing about the Black Templars, if that's a thing.
Well, I mean, they've had the tabard in front before, but yeah, this is.
Yeah, but the
I
tabard
guess
usually
a little
stops
bit
at the
different.
waist, right?
Yeah, usually. Yeah, usually.
Yeah. So this goes like underneath the chest plate, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, it would make more sense to kind of go over it if they wanted to do that and then put
Yeah.
a symbol on it.
Yeah, if they wanted to go like with the medieval theme, like if they wanted to go with like a surcoat over armor, like in the medieval times, they could just do the cloak over the chest piece and then have like the Black Templar symbol on it,
Yeah.
and that would have worked. That would have made him look like a crusader, which is what Black Templars are. In fact,
Well, as is, I would probably freehand or decal something on his chest. It just looks super plain.
yeah, if I was going to get this, the first thing I would do is try and see if I could fix up that weird like cloth thing going behind, because that just defies all gravity and defies what cloth is. And also like I would green stuff the cloth over his chest plate.
Right.
Yeah. So it extends up to his chest plate. So yeah, so it's like a proper surcoat.
Inscribe like lines of text or something on his armor just to.
I mean, you could, yeah,
Like-
some choice like inscriptions of text, a little bit of freehand. I would also
Yeah.
think that there would be like a little bit of like some transfers here and there that could do that as well from the upgrade sprue, which we're going to be taking a look at later. But
Yeah.
going on, that's the first thing I have a problem with. Second thing, I don't like his iron halo. His iron halo looks like demon horns from certain angles. And I don't like that. Why is it in that angle?
Right, I think they are trying to follow the old Emperor's Champion where he had like the wreath of he had the laurel leaves, or that symbol of victory, the wreath around his head.
Yeah.
But in the older model, I think it's like on his head, it's touching his head. It's not.
Yeah.
with
It's like a
the
crown.
chest above it. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this is like just above it, and it's very strange. So second conversion I would do with him, if and when I get him, is I would chop off that like iron halo, and place it like on his helmet. In much the same
Well,
way,
he's-
Gilliman has that like laurel wreath crown on his helmeted version.
Well, he's a duelist, Maybe it makes his headbutts more effective when he needs to do that. Stab you in the eye with it.
The laurel, it's not iron hair. Oh, you mean it's like that
they're
time?
facing outwards.
Yeah, it's like that time that the the emperor in TTS the emperor got hit by shrapnel from Rogel Dawn's like iron halo.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense. Oh, all right. Let's get on to the next model. We have the regular old Marshal. So this is a model we've seen before in the Black Templars Founders Edition box, but now we are able to get him on his own. So for those of us that did not want to get the Founders Edition box, this is our chance to get a Marshal, a HQ for our Black Templars. What do you think of
So
him, Mr. Ryan?
the thing I love about this guy, right, is I don't know why, I just love that skeleton on his backpack. The way it's like looming down and
I like
almost
his
sneering
grin.
at someone.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
face that the skeleton is making, that's hilarious. That is like,
It's so expressive.
yeah, it's like, I never knew someone dead could be so expressive.
And he's looking down, so
Yeah.
and the marshals they're both gazing in the same direction. So
Yeah. It's like, could this be like a Hellboy moment where it's like there was a point in the Hellboy movie where Hellboy resurrected a revenant, like a skeleton man, and was carrying half his body around, and he was guiding him. So, could this be, a spiritual
Well,
guide of sorts?
well, they like to use the bones of martyrs, right? So that could be his predecessor, the former marshal, just leaning down and whispering, "Yeah, kick his ass."
Yeah, he's got that trolly kind of like snickering look as well. It's like, yeah, that's hilarious.
I don't know why they put his hands there like that. I mean, I think strangely it looks nice, but it's just such a curious choice to put his hands almost as if they were in shackles.
Yep,
In fact, I think they are in shackles.
they are in shackles, but he's obviously a martyr. Like he's a some sort of like venerated figure. And it's like, why are you shackling him?
And,
It's not like he's gonna he's gonna put a heretic skeleton on his back, is he?
then again, I mean, it is in shackles. Who knows these guys?
Yeah, who knows? Oh, then it could be even funnier, where it's like it's a heretic cult leader, and even in death, he whispers like, "Hey, you're gonna fail. Hey, Marshall, you suck." Just hurls insults at him through the warp, through his remains.
That would be an annoying thing to willingly put on your backpack.
Yep. So one thing, the one thing I have an issue with on this model is just the picture itself on the Warhammer community. I don't know if you've noticed this. Have you seen his sword? Just this top area here on the sword? Yeah. Those are 3D printing layer lines. It's a very that's a very distinct layer lines. You don't get that anywhere else but if you're 3D printing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like an early prototype model or something that they
This would
printed
definitely
out for.
Yeah, this would definitely be a prototype model. But just saying. Don't know why they would choose to keep that on. Photoshop is a thing.
What hasn't eluded me is that somebody slightly dropped the ball on that OSL blue.
Really?
That blue glow is not as good as they usually do it. And I'm also looking at the plasma gun. That blue glow is. I've seen them do better on box sets and stuff.
Yeah. It's odd. Paint job is a little bit subpar for this model. I think they definitely rushed this out. And you can definitely see that on the skin tone, on this secondary head. I don't even know what to call this head. It's like Bane, but bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that mask. It doesn't feel very Black Templar.
Yeah, it feels like Eldari for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe something more techy.
Even I don't know. It feels very off. It feels very off. What I'm saying is that if you want the Marshal and you don't want him helmeted, unhelmeted, take one of your squad members helmets and put that on his head instead. Don't use the alternative head from the kit. It looks very special. It looks very special.
It looks like it belongs in Gene Stealer Cultist, so it does.
Exactly. It elongates his head, so it looks like he's either an Eldari, like like a warp spider. It reminds me of a warp spider for some reason, or like a Gene Stealer Cultist with a
Yeah, I see Gene Stealer Cultist.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on from the marshal himself, who's a little bit confused on his allegiances, and let's move on to the Castellan, which I think is meant to be their. Is it meant to be their chaplain, or is it meant to be like their blade hero?
Oops, hello, lost you there, I think, Bill.
Oh, whoa, okay. Well, you're back now, Mr. Ryan. Yep. So we're moving on to the Castellan right now, Mr. Ryan. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Can you not hear me? Hello?
Hello, lost you for a second there.
Oh, okay, cool. Excellent. Let me just check this. The recording is A-okay, and it is still going strong. All right, cool. Fantastic. We'll just leave that in there, and, technical difficulties are part of the recording process. Everyone can see them. It's fine. Anyway, we are moving on to the Castellan, Mr. Ryan. Which I believe...
So chunky.
I believe he's meant to be like their blade, god character. Like the Master of Blades character, that kind of thing. I know that Space Marine chapters have like a mid-tier character where it's just all melee all the time. Like the
Templars. I haven't played my Templars in a while, but I think he might just be like a lieutenant or something.
Oh
like
wow!
Just a lieutenant, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be their ancient or something. Yeah. All right, but that's a very chunky lieutenant. That's a very ornate lieutenant.
I could be wrong. I haven't played my Templars in a while, but yeah, I think this is the reroll once to wound guy.
Yeah, wow. If this guy is like your lieutenant, that is a freaking amazing looking lieutenant. And those shoulder pads, man. Those shoulder pads are chunky. They're real chunky.
Yeah, and we all know, shoulder pads connote authority in this universe.
Yeah. Why are his shoulder pads overshadowing the Emperor's champions? That's my question.
It overshadows Hellbrett's.
Yeah.
Hellbrett's shoulder pads are not that huge.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Hellbrecht just didn't go like, Castellan, what are you doing with those shoulder pads? Nothing, sir. It's like, I shall requisition them for my own use.
I'll say one thing though. I don't think those shoulder pads go very well with his chest plate.
I do not, and it does look quite ugly. But
because one is highly decorative and the other is highly utilitarian.
Yeah, but I'm kind of digging the contrast, Mr. Ryan. I'm kind of digging it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because on one hand, right, you can see on his armor, there's a lot of ornamentation on it, way more than the Emperor's Champion. There's a lot of rims and extra skulls, even some words inscribed on his bolter. But then there's all this tubing, power cables everywhere. It's what an interesting model.
What struck me as interesting was the use of the cable instead of another chain, because Black Templars usually the weapons, they have chains, not cables.
Yeah. Could this be a Tech Marine?
Huh.
You think?
Possibly, but he hasn't got the
He hasn't got a servo arm. Yeah.
He hasn't got a servo arm.
I could definitely see somebody converting him into a Tech Marine though. Look at that. That head.
You know what I think? You know what I think when I see this? It feels to me like he's playing in one of those MMORPGs, and he's I've got my epic level shoulders, I haven't got my epic level chest piece yet. It's like he's assembling the parts and he's working his way up, getting.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that's why we like it so much. We played so many MMORPGs. It's just like, yep, that usually is what my character looks like for most of the time.
Yep.
Oh man, but like this this Castellan is definitely yeah, he's an instant buy for me. He's an instant buy. Like I would say, if he is what I suspect, he might be just a regular $54 character. He's definitely an instant buy going into any Black Templars army. Just his presence is enough to, is enough to make me want to put him on the battlefield. Like, Jesus, man, those shoulder pads. That girth.
It's cool helmet too.
Yeah, plus a cool helmet with like 2 different scopes. 3 different scopes if you count the eye. Actually, he's got a 4th one. He's got a 4th scope just over here on his backpack, on his power pack.
He's got a lot of targeters on there.
Yeah, just in case he needs a higher vantage point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. He's definitely an instant buy for me. He sings to me for some reason. He sings to me. He's so mismatched. He's so ugly, but like, you know what? It works.
It's also nice to have an axe guy when everyone else has a sword. Let's break
that
up
is
a bit,
Yeah, that is true. Alright, let's move on to our first squad, which is the Primaris Crusader squad. Formerly, you could only get these.
This so much.
Yes, you could formerly only get these in the Black Templars Founders Edition box, but you can now get them on their own. And yeah, what do you think, Mr. Ryan? We know you love them, so what do you love about them?
It's nice to no longer have to use Space Marine Scouts as my little acolyte guys.
Yeah, your acolytes, yeah. Your neophytes, was it?
Neophytes, yeah, that's it. So
yeah.
it used to be, we just use Scouts for that, but now there's a specific Scout for them. I think they're really good, and I like the heads. I think it's got that nice monastic kind of look.
Yep, I do like that. They've got like actual monastic hairstyle. Ooh.
Yeah.
Monastic hairstyles.
I will tell you, I will refuse to use anything that does not involve that chainsword. Everyone's getting a chainsword because it works perfectly instead.
I mean, like, yeah, at least all the intercessors, it looks like that most of the intercessors can be fitted out with their heavy bolt pistols and the chainswords.
They do have the tabard style that you don't like, though. That tabard is stuffed under the plate, yeah.
Yeah, that just confirms that it is going to be a Black Templar across the board thing, that the tabard is tucked in underneath the chest piece. As a former medieval reenactor, I can tell you that is the quickest way to ruin a tabard. The
bosses don't seem to do it though. Like Helbrecht's got it the right way around.
Yeah, and so does the sergeant. Look at him. Like, that must be why they're promoted.
Yeah, they take a look and they go, "Oh, that guy's figured it out. He's been around long enough."
Yep. Yeah. So these guys, like, that's why, they're the soldiers, and this man is the one in charge.
Yeah, this is where they could learn from the. This is where they could learn from the Dark Angels. They wear tabards all the time. Yeah. Like, maybe they could do like a. I mean, like, the Dark Angels do have like a kind of like knight monastic theme to them as well. So maybe they could do like a chapter exchange program. They could teach them how to wear tabards. I noticed that they've left out hoods for Black Templar scalps, and I wonder if that's to make sure they don't look too much like Dark Angels. Yeah, I did notice that as well. To be fair, right, I did think that like hoods were a lot more of a Dark Angels thing than a Black Templars thing. Although they could have gone in here pretty well as well, but yeah, I think it was a decision to differentiate them. Yeah, I mean, they put so much effort into the hairstyles. Like, these are legitimate, like, historical medieval hairstyles. Like, these two especially, like this one over here, that bowl cut. Yeah, like these two guys are definitely like a more modern
Terry like crew cut style. But like, yeah, these are like monk bowl cuts.
Those are all the ones I'm using. Just the bowl cuts.
Yeah, if there's enough heads in the kit. So, ballpark speaking, I think that these guys are going to be going for a bit more than the standard intercessor squads, because I believe these are the first proper squad faction specific intercessor release. So it would stand to reason that I think that these guys are going to be a bit more expensive than the regular intercessors at $90. I would even hazard a guess they might be $105. What do you think, Mr. Ryan?
Well, I'm not sure. On the one hand, I mean, yeah, I think there would be more because they're just not your standard marine sculpts.
Yeah.
I'm just curious about the weapon mix that you're getting in there, whether or not you'll be able to get the squad that you want from a single box.
Very true, very true. The Games Workshop has been on a little bit of a monopose streak recently, as we've seen with the new Orc kits.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That is a worry, but do not worry. Either me and Ryan or Ryan are going to be getting these, so we'll probably do a little bit of an unboxing and show you guys what's inside the box. If it's proper kit or if it's a monopose kit. We'll have to fight and see.
Game-wise, I'm very interested in whether that flamer will prove to be useful, that new flamer of theirs.
Yeah, wasn't this teased at 18 inches?
That's what I heard. If it is, that's great, yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be great if that's what it does.
I don't like the fact that, like, these flamers outrange my pyrovores. I mean, pyrovores are already so bad, and they had one thing where they could have an 11-inch flamer. Now that all the flamers are 12-inch, they are not special whatsoever, and they're terrible. But if somebody has an 18-inch flamer, that just means, oh wow, these guys are just totally useless. They're totally outclassed by everything on the board now. This is like not even worth it to get pyrophores.
On a somewhat unrelated note to that, are you aware that Vindicare assassins throw their grenades 12 inches?
Yes, I do know that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Like, you outrange a pyrovore by throwing a grenade by 1 inch.
Yep.
That is so irritating as a Tyranid player.
I think we're seeing a slight power creep in blast, those like former template blast weapons like flamers and stuff, right? I think we're seeing a slight power creep in them, which may be justified because for most of 8th edition and even the early parts of 9th edition, I saw very few flamer weapons, and I think they weren't making that much of an impact. It wasn't really the scariest weapon choice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even with my Tyranids, I've rarely used flamers, or even like acid spits, or like, yeah, even like the Tyrant effects. Like, I'll seldom use the Tyrant effects, actually. I've started using the Scythe Hero Duel, and yeah, it's been going really great. He melted a squad of cultists, which is always fun.
Yeah, so I think, if we see flamer weapons start to kind of creep up in range a bit, that could balance them out a little bit.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's move on to our second squad, which is the Sword Brethren squad. Their premier melee assault Blade Guard veteran? Black Templars unit? Yeah. Yeah, what do you think, Mr. Ryan?
I like the Lightning Claws one because I don't know. There's just something nice about seeing lightning claws on a Templar because it breaks up the whole, sword gun kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see a bigger mix of melee weapons, just visually speaking.
Yeah. I find it
Other
very
than
interesting that
Yeah.
this guy has a power ball, which is something that the Playground have never had before.
Yeah.
And
So
this
there's
man
such a variety here.
has a combi plasma, and this guy over back here has a hand flamer and a power axe, and also
So
double lightning claws. Very
I'm
different.
thinking this is almost like they slam together Sternguard and Vanguard veterans and just kind of gone, hey, everybody just grab whatever you want.
Yeah. Also, back to the tabards again. Like, look at them. They're all wearing their tabards the right way on the outside, rather
That's
than
how you know they're
the
veterans.
inside. Yeah.
They figured it out.
Yeah, they figured it out. Look at that. I also really like the fact that they have got the tabard and the capes. So, like, the side view on the guy behind there, right? They look a lot like Crusaders. Like, very much like Crusaders.
Capes inverted from the earlier officers that we saw. I could be wrong. Are the capes usually white on the outside and red on the inside, or is this the usual?
Wait, I think they're inverted. Right? Let me go back. Let's go back to Hellbrand. Well, the Marshal's, inverted, if he is. So it's red on the outside and white on the inside.
So it's red on the outside, right? Okay.
Yeah. But...
Hellbrand is special. I see.
Yeah, Hellbrand is special. Yeah. So yeah, it is
red on the outside.
It is red on the outside and white on the inside. Yeah, but yeah, like I've got nothing to say bad about this kit. This kit is like freaking awesome. This gives you so many more weapon combinations and weapon options for your Blade Guard veterans. This is probably going to be a different data entry to the Blade Guard veterans.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. So this is something that is
because the Blade Guard veterans carry that combi plasma. I don't think they can, right?
No, they can't. They can only take the Volkite.
Yeah, so it's definitely a different entry.
Yeah, so this is a completely new squad, a completely new data entry that is unique only to the Black Templars. And of course, they're going to be Blade Guard veteran stats like 3 wounds, T5, all that good stuff. I don't see shields though.
Has someone there taken a bolt pistol and a chainsword?
Yes.
Oh, good grief! You can let him take anything he wants, and he takes that.
It's like God. Old Yeller never fails.
That was what I started with. That's what I'll hold on to.
Yep. There's always that one person in the squad, man. I also find it very interesting that the trimmings on these guys on the shoulder pads, they're red.
I think that's kind of been the case for quite a while.
Has it been?
The elite the elite Blade Guard have that different trim.
Okay. I've never seen Ultramarine Blade Guard with red trim though. It could just be Ultramarine.
Oh no, I mean specific to the Templars.
Oh, specific to the Templars. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Although one thing I have noticed, missing the shields. So bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Might not have any storm shields in this kit. Very likely. No storm shields.
Well, they traditionally have not carried storm shields or the Blade Guard veteran anyway, so yeah, I wouldn't expect that they would suddenly have them now.
Oh, the Blade Guard veterans come with shields, dude.
No, I mean on the Sword Brethren, sorry.
Sword Brethren, yep.
Yeah, so even in the old incarnations, we didn't see storm shields on them, so I don't think they're gonna suddenly get them now.
Yeah, true. I would be very curious if these little insignias actually meant something. Like
Well,
these are all like
as I was mentioning, definitely the red trim and the red cross. That is definitely a Sword Brethren thing. That was the color scheme they used to distinguish them from a long time ago. Those things on top of them, some of them are relics.
ah. Do you
Yeah.
think they could be trying to represent an iron halo? Or some sort of refractor field?
Well, one guy doesn't have it. That's the thing, you see.
Yeah.
The guy
Could it
who
be?
also happened to pick the bolt pistol and chainsword.
Yeah. Could it be like an upgrade?
Okay, so on my Black Templars upgrade kit that I have now, which is the old one, I do have these things to stick on their backpacks as well.
Okay.
Might just be ornamentation.
Yeah, might be cosmetic, but something to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe. And if I was to give a ballpark for the GW price for this thing, Mr. Ryan, I would say probably around like $80+. Maybe like I would gander 86.
Well, what do Stern Guard and Vanguard cost? I would say it would be around that category, right?
I'm basing this off the Blade Guard veterans, what they cost right now, which is in the
that sounds reasonable.
mid to high 80s. So I would say like these are maybe like around the same price, maybe a little bit more, maybe like closer to 90, I believe.
Yep.
Like but bear in mind, it is 5 guys, and in the Blade Guard veteran kit, you only get 3 of them.
True.
So we could be seeing a squad of 10 of these. Very likely these are max size 10 squads. 10 per squad.
That would be pretty generous.
Yeah. I mean, like, usually for these elite squads that come in like a box of 5, they're usually max size 10.
Yeah, usually.
So that is very interesting. Very interesting. For those of us that are fans of, like, the Blade Guard veteran playstyle, these guys, yeah, they're a little bit less durable, but, those extra weapons and those extra war gear options, that could mean a difference.
Someone's gonna try and Vanguard them and play with nothing but Sword Brethren.
Yeah, just put them all in impulses and just go like, ugh, they're there. Ooh, exciting stuff. All right, let's move on. And that seems to be the end of the models. Now we have a showcase of the Codex supplement and what art we're going to get out of it. Both the standard and the limited edition art. All that good stuff. This is a supplement, so I believe it's going to be I remember them being $48. The old supplements. Is that correct, Mr. Ryan?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's about there.
It's about there? Yeah, so... Yeah. I would say this is about the same price, so, yeah, that's...
Kind of annoys me that the guy is holding an axe.
Yeah, it's very un-Black Templars-y to be holding an axe like that. But I guess they wanted to showcase the new martial model. And it's different.
Couldn't the Empress Champion be on the front cover? That would make sense.
Or Hellbracht.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been a cooler option, but oh well, we get what we get, I suppose. And now, the new Black Templars upgrades and transfers, Mr. Ryan. And as you can see, we have our little Robocop, Black Templar back. So he's back. And
so just me, or do some of their heads look a little bit chubby, like chubby cheeks?
I don't think so.
See the lower left?
Yeah,
this guy looks a little chubby. The guy next to him looks chubby too.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe they're getting a bit more well fed,
Huh?
Yeah.
There's always this one guy who doesn't shave.
That is true. I mean, these are pretty cool. I don't know what else to say. You've got shotgun options for scouts, and a unhelmeted option, and a multi-melter.
I
That's
I
new.
would use some. I would use some of these for my sister's battle.
Yeah. Yeah, I get the feeling like a lot of people are gonna be like trading these little bits with the Sisters of Battle because look, you get individual candles.
Yeah.
And you get like all these like crosses and stuff like that. That is very like you could easily put that in a Sisters of Battle, like
And that book.
Yeah, and the book.
Yeah.
The book. Yeah. All right, let's head on down to. Wait, they didn't show off any transfers. They said Black Templar upgrades and transfers, but they didn't show off any transfers.
Oh, maybe everything's just sculpted on like that.
But they said transfers. Are they redefining what transfers are?
They lied.
They lied. What is the transfers? No.
Maybe they're not sculpted on. You just have to paste on the transfers and then they look.
Oh. All right then. So we've got dice and data cards. Yeah, these are pretty good dice. They're very
black and white is good for dice.
Yeah, black and
it's black
they're very
and white.
readable.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go with like doing like individual symbols for like numbers again. Oh jeez, the Necron dice just oh my gosh, I still cannot read them. Whenever an opponent uses them, I'm like, I squint my eyes and just go like, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's the idea. So you can swipe them off and go, yeah, just take my word for it.
It's most of them hits. It's okay. It's like, you sure? What does the skull mean? It's like, oh, it means a 6. It's like, you sure?
They're mostly 6s.
Alright, I mean, I can't read them, but okay. And, yeah, same deal, like $54 for the Black Templars dice, for 20 dice, I believe.
Always the same.
Always the same. I find these very overpriced usually. Like, for dice, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, Mr. Ryan, as a true blue Black Templars player.
Look, I'm not huge when it comes to dice. Even if I love the army, honestly, to me, I know some gamers will get outraged at that, but dice are dice. Yeah, they're dice.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I would rather buy cheaper dice and then buy more models.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I have those giant pink dice. I can use them for every army, because pink is obviously a universal color.
Why pink?
Because I originally got them for Tyranids, and pink seemed like the obvious choice. But I've been using them for, like, Drukhari, and, for my Age of Sigmar, like, Nighthawks and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know what? It's quite universal. Nobody's complained about my giant pink dice. They've commented on them, how big they are. But
I used to use these. I used to use spherical D6s. You've seen them, like the weighted ones.
Yeah. I've seen them, and it's like, there's no way I would ever allow you to play with them, Mr. Ryan. Especially how hot you roll usually.
They go all over the place, but I don't know. I like the way they roll around.
Fair enough. They're almost as bad as squig dice.
More decorative than anything.
Yes. Put them on your trophy rack. Anyway, we've got another entry, which is Team does some handy reference data cards to we've got a Space Marine Chaplain. Is this a new model? Yeah, it is. Holy moly. It's a firstborn release.
Is it? Oh, I see the difference now. So the old one was like a rib cage, right? I think.
Yeah. So this is a brand new firstborn Chaplain. Wow. That's rare.
It says here it was part of the Space Marine Heroes set. So maybe that is the old one.
Oh, okay. Space Marine Heroes.
The old Space Marine hero set, was that the one with like the apothecary and
I believe
the
so. Yeah.
apothecary and the
So
captain
this
and the
is
yeah.
yeah. So this is from the gacha box.
Yeah. So hold on, let me look it up. Space
Yeah.
Marine hero set.
I'll look it up too. Spurs. Space Heroes. Series 2, right? Or Series 1, you think? Should be Series 2.
I don't see
Um,
anything like it in Series 1,
yeah,
so...
yeah, Series 2 is all Terminators. And Series 3 was the Death Guard one.
No, I don't see it, so I don't know why they say it's
Yeah,
Space Marine hero set.
a bit
Are they
confusing.
talking about the old? Are they talking about the old command box? Something like
Was this
that.
in the old command box? Hold on, let me see.
Well, there's no other Space Marine hero set, so I'm not sure what they're referring to by that.
Command box. No. Oh, wait. It was in the old Reclusium Command Squad.
Ah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so the old command squad. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking of. Yeah, with the apothecary and whatnot.
Yeah, with the
The
apothecary.
apothecary and
Yeah.
the ancients. Yeah.
Yeah, it is exactly him. It is exactly him. I found a picture of the box. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it came with a Razorback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 Stone Guard veterans. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 Command Squad people, 1 apothecary, and a chaplain. There you go. We're getting this now. Re-release. I don't know.
Useful for some players, by the way, because not everyone feels it's worth paying the extra points for Primary's chaplain.
That is true.
That's walking around on foot.
That is true. But with Grimaldus as a Black Templar player, is it really worth it to not have Grimaldus on?
Well, Grimaldus can't be everywhere. Maybe, you want a second one.
You want to give him an assistant.
Well, I mean, it's important to remember Black Templars have no librarians, right? So your buffs are primarily coming from your chaplains.
That is true. So, Yeah, and the good thing is, as I've noticed, because I've been playing around with a lot of like High Fleet Chronos, and I've been using their Warlord trait Mind Eater a lot. Yeah, Psychic Power is pretty dangerous. Pretty dangerous to cast. Like, if you don't know what Mind Eater is, it's basically if you're within 18 inches of this Warlord, if you fail a Psychic test, you take D3 mortal wounds. So I've had, because of the Shadow and the Warp, that combination of being in the Shadow of the Warp and being within the 18 inches, sometimes when I fight against Thousand Suns, they just fail so many psychic tests. And it gets pretty demoralizing pretty quickly.
I think so with Templars, right? I think they are helped a little bit by the fact that there's no real interaction with their buffs. I mean, when a chaplain buffs, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. If he does it, he just does it. There's no denying it or any such thing. So
it's casted on a 3-up, right?
It can be even less if you have the Warlock trait, like the Wise Orator trait, I think.
Yeah.
I think they can add like a +1 to it.
Yeah, so it's like it goes off on a 2-up.
Yeah. So, I mean, it sucks not to have librarians and psychic powers. I think, in a way, this has kind of helped the Black Templars a bit.
Yeah, well, anyway, most of the librarian buffs and psychic powers are going to be more range and shooting, so it's further dissuading you from going into the the standard gunline Space Marine trait and going into more like, hey, Crusade, go, get in there.
Yep.
Get in there, boys. Oh, went a bit orc there. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the Black Templars release. So all that's left is a bunch of the other stuff, the Horus Heresy stuff, Blood Bowl, and a new White Dwarf, Cities of Sigmar stuff. And the fact that we're reminded that it's almost Christmas. So, if you're thinking about starting a new army, for Christmas, I would heavily recommend the new Black Templars. Because, well, they look cool, they look awesome. For once, I'll give credit where credit is due. Games Workshop did a very good job in capturing the essence of the old models into the new, without overdoing it.
Yes, it's really important for Space Marines to have these because there are already so many Space Marine models, and there's a real danger that all the chapters just start to kind of blend into one generic mass apart from color. So yeah, they really need to make these individual chapters kind of pop more.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with the Blood Angels and the Space Wolves release because they didn't give them really any new sculpts of the units.
Right. The Blood Angels I think suffered a little bit more than the Space Wolves because they are a special look unit, which is primarily the Golden Boys, right?
Yeah, they're starting
to look a little bit dated.
They are very dated. That's the thing. They look very stunty.
Yeah.
Like real stunty.
So they need so some of the other chapters could do is an upgraded look like this.
Yeah, but
definitely.
Yeah, even the Wolfen, they didn't look that good when they were first released, and they've just aged so bad.
They kind of look like how I imagine angry hobos jumping you in an alley would look.
Yep, that's a good analogy.
The shouty face and the hair and attacking you is...
Yeah,
some
the
of them
rabbit
have,
hair.
bone clubs or something, right?
Yeah, some of them have bone clubs, and it's like, whoa, okay, are these actual Space Marines, or what are they?
You know what I really would have loved for Space Wolves, what will absolutely make me play Space Wolves, is if they make the Wolfen look like werewolves.
Yeah, actual werewolves. What they're supposed to look like in the lore. And not just homeless men.
Yeah, not like angry hobo look, but like actual werewolf look. That would be awesome.
Yep.
And I've always wondered why GW hasn't got many werewolf sculpts.
Yes. And the ones that they do have, which I believe it's in Age of Sigmar, the Skinwalkers, oh my gosh, they're so old.
Yeah.
They're stuck in fine cast, and you can only get a pack of 5 of them, and it's like, what is this? They look so bad.
I don't understand why there's no werewolf faction in Age of Sigmar, why werewolves are not part of Beast of Chaos or something like that. It's
exactly.
It's perfect for it. I would jump on it.
Why are werewolves not part of the Cauldron of Blood faction, the new vampire faction in Age of Sigmar? It's like werewolves and vampires are quite synonymous? I don't know. But we're going on a tangent. And we are unfortunately running out of time. So, yeah, thank you very much for staying till the end, guys. And, please remember to like and subscribe the video if you liked it. And comment below about, what we should talk about next. Or if you'd like to just watch us paint and, do some other stuff. Honestly, today was a bit impromptu. I decided to do a bit of, a Black Templars video just because... I got a bit burnt out with painting and also Constantine Valdor. He's almost done. So I'm just I want a little bit of a break. I want to chill out a bit and, talk about the future in a more positive light. Thank you very much, and we shall see you next time.
And I'll see you next time too, I hope.
Bye-bye.